Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tilly and today I'm bringing you a new reading vlog. So within this vlog I intend to do the 24-hour reading challenge. So if you don't know what that is, people normally use their phone to calculate 24 hours and there's no way I can do that over the course of one day because I am working this week. So I'm going to do it similarly to the people that use a timer method and they'll time the time that they're actually reading. So I'm a little bit unsure whether to use the timer or the stopwatch function on my phone. Part of me thinks it might be quite nice to use the timer so that I can see the time ticking down, and also to do something a little bit different with this video, I'm going to use it to encourage me to catch up with some of my 2023 releases that I didn't get to last year. So on the possibility list we have got a Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab, Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco, Ball of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. As you've probably seen, we've got a lot of chunky reads on this TBR for this week, so it'll be interesting to see how many I can get through within this challenge. But I think the book I'm going to start with is Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. So this is a spin-off from the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I had really mixed feelings about the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I absolutely adored the first two books, but unfortunately I really didn't like the direction that the third book took. But I absolutely love the world, love the characters, so I'm really hoping I really enjoy this because, as I said, it's a spin-off. So this one I believe follows Prince Envy, but let's have a little look at that synopsis. A wicked prince. The Prince of Envy has never claimed to be a saint, but when a cryptic note arrives at his demon courts signalling the beginning of a deadly game, he knows it will take more than a hint of sin to win. Riddles, hexed objects, anonymous players, nothing will stand in his way. A fallen painter. Camilla is an artist with troubles of her own. A desperate mistake has landed her in debt to a notorious rake. Threatened with ruinous scandal, she is forced to enter a devil's bargain with Envy. A bargain that reveals secrets and ignites passions that neither of them expects. Let the games begin. Together, Envy and Camilla must embark on a perilous journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to the sultry vampire realm and beyond, while trying to avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. I do think it sounds really cool. As I said, I love the world, I love the characters, so yeah, really hoping I enjoy this. I will of course come back to you and let you know once I've started my timer, how I get on, and yeah, what I think of this book. Guys, I thought I'd update you as I'm an hour down in the challenge. So I have 23 hours left to go, and you may have seen from the B-roll that I started Throne of the Fallen, and I'm pleased to say that I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot so far. We do see Prince Envy a little bit in some of the other books, so I was aware of his character slightly, and then Camilla is a new character and I'm quite enjoying the camaraderie. It's also giving me a little bit of the Inheritance Games vibes just because there's some sort of game at play, and so I'm really intrigued to see how that plays out. And I'm also quite enjoying the banter between Envy and Camilla so far, although obviously she doesn't know who he is or that he's the Prince of Hell yet, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But I got to page 88, which I don't think is too bad going within the hour. Hopefully I can keep up the same sort of momentum, as I would like to read as much as possible as part of this challenge and hopefully get some of these chunky reads off of my TBR. I don't think I'll update you every hour, but I will try and keep you updated as much as possible, and I'll come back to you when I have some more thoughts or an update on the time. Hi guys, it's now Tuesday lunchtime and I'm filming this in my lunch break. So last night roughly I read for 2.5 hours and I got to page 256 of Throne of the Fallen. And then this morning I read for about 20 minutes and I got to page 291. So I definitely think this challenge is definitely encouraging me to read a lot more. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing a good effect from doing this challenge. In fact, I'm thinking about reading some more on my lunch break. But in terms of Throne of the Fallen, I am still really enjoying it. I think I will always prefer Raph as a love interest. I don't know why, I just prefer him to Envy, although I am really enjoying the story. And I think we're back to what I really enjoyed about the first two Kingdom of the Wicked books, and sort of like the dynamic between Envy and Camilla. And I'm also really still enjoying the game aspect and what that means. They have now travelled to the underworld, which I don't think is a spoiler because I'm pretty sure it's in the synopsis. So they've now travelled there, and it's also really interesting to see some of the other characters that we've known from the previous series start to come into it, and also to see how the dynamic handles that. But yeah, like I said, I'm still really enjoying this. It doesn't necessarily feel like a 5-star read to me. As I've said in a previous vlog, a 5-star book to me is a book that I literally cannot put down. And I'm not really getting those vibes with this, but it is a book that I am really enjoying, and I am really excited to continue it and see where the book goes. I do know, as I said, this is part of a series, but I think the other books in the series will follow the other Princes of Sin. So I'm a bit unsure as to whether Envy and Camilla's story is going to wrap up within this one, and then I guess depending on the ending they might have slight cameos in the other books potentially. Something else that I wanted to share with you is that I've just got a parcel from Fairy Loot. And I'm not too sure what this is. I mean, guessing by the little heart, I think it might be the Romantasy subscription. So straight away I'm getting a spoiler card that says Enchanted Fae, and I remember this is the theming for the Romantasy this month, so this is April's Romantasy and the first ever book in the Romantasy subscription, so I'm really intrigued to see what they do with this. So it's still in the Fairy Loot standard bag. I think it would have been a nice touch if they'd have done maybe a slightly different colour to represent the Romantasy subscription, but then they don't do a different colour for the adult subscription, so I guess it makes sense. So firstly, I'm seeing some character artwork, which looks really pretty. I love all her freckles. And then we've got the author letter on the other side. I have noticed with some of the subscription books recently that the author letter has been bound in, which I actually don't prefer. I like getting these art cards because I like having them in my photo album or on my walls. So yeah, I really hope that they go back to doing this more often. And then in terms of the book, we're getting a solid blue edge. Just spotted the back, which I think is absolutely awesome. I love like the cottagecore mushroom vibes. To be fair, I'm a little bit disappointed with the front, as I think it's quite similar to the original, and pop the original cover on the screen somewhere so that you can have a comparison. I'd say from memory, I think the only thing different is that you've got some gold foiling, but I've just seen the edges, which are really, really pretty. And then we've got some beautiful end paper art with some lovely foiling. I think that's really nice. The naked hardcover is also really, really beautiful. And then this is the back of the hardcover. I love the constellations and stars and how they've done it with the foiling. I think that's really pretty. And the spine has got all the foiling as well. And then we've got some different end papers at the back. And I think these are probably potentially the love interests. And then we've also got a reversible dust jacket. So if I show you that. I mean, to be honest, I kind of wish that they'd done it the other way round. I know not everyone is a fan of character artwork on dust jackets, but I do kind of wish that they'd done this as the main dust jacket because I think it would have been so much more different from the original. But I do still think it's really pretty. So in terms of the synopsis for this one, a library with a deadly enchantment, a Fey Lord who wants in, a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. In a land ruled by ruthless Fae, 21-year-old Law Elamu's village is trapped in a forested prison. Law knows that any escape attempt is futile. Her scars are a testament to her past failures. But when her village is threatened, Law makes a desperate deal with a Fey Lord. She convinces him that she will risk her life for wealth, but really she's after the one thing that Fae covet over all, magic of her own. As Law navigates the hostile world outside of her village, she's forced to rely on 2 Fey males to survive. When undeniable chemistry ignites, she's not just in danger of losing her life, but also her heart to the very creatures she can never trust. The perfect cottagecore book about books with a love triangle that will keep you guessing. I do think it sounds quite interesting. I do love a Fae romance, so I can see why they picked this one. And I'd say, yeah, I'm quite interested to give this one a read. It definitely sounds up my street. If you are interested in hearing my thoughts about this, we'll probably be reading this as part of a vlog next month. So if you're not already aware, I tend to read the BookBox subscription books a month behind. So this will be part of the vlog that I do in May. So as I said, I'll let you know my thoughts. Otherwise, I'll also let you know my thoughts in my May wrap up as well, if you are interested. Guys, it's now Wednesday lunchtime and I'm now on 19 minutes 12, so I did read for quite a lot last night and I did end up finishing Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, and my overall thoughts are that I did really enjoy this one and it actually ended up being a 4-star read. I think I've said it a couple of times in this vlog, but this book really feels like what I really enjoyed in the first 2 Kingdom of the Wicked books. Although I saw that Kerry Maniscalco makes it very clear on Goodreads that this is not a YA, it is very much adult, and I definitely can see that with the amount of smut that is in this book and the levels of spice. I don't mind a lot of smut as long as the story holds up, and I would say that the story definitely holds up in here. As I said in my previous updates, I really thought the story was really strong and I really liked how the story wrapped up. There was a big reveal that I definitely didn't see coming, and yeah, I'm really pleased that I enjoyed this one so much. So I think I'm going to choose Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout as my next read. I've wanted to pick this book up since last year after it being quite hyped. I have read most of the From Blood and Ash series as well as the Flesh and Fire series, which is the spin-off series of Blood and Ash. I enjoyed both series, but I wouldn't say they were the best written books and some of the pacing felt massively off. However, as I also said in my April TBR, those books were self-published, whereas this is traditionally published, so I would have thought it has probably gone through a lot more editing, and so hopefully the pacing will be a little bit better in this one. So in terms of the synopsis, she survives on her intuition, he thrives on her pleasure. Long ago, the world was destroyed by gods. Only 9 cities were spared. Separated by a vast wilderness, teeming with monsters and unimaginable dangers, each city is now ruled by a guardian. Royals who feed on mortal pleasure. Born with an intuition that never fails, Callista knows her talents are valuable to the powerful of her world. So she lives hidden as the Baron of Archwood's courtesan. In exchange for protection, she gives him information. However, when her intuition saves a prince in dire trouble, the voice inside her blazes with warning and promise. Today he'll bring her joy, but one day he'll be her doom. When the Baron takes an interest in the prince, and the prince takes an interest in Callista, she becomes his temporary companion. However, her city simmers with rebellion. With knights and monsters at the city gates, and a hungry prince in her bed, even her powerful instincts may not be enough to keep her safe. Callista must choose, follow her intuition to safety or her heart to downfall. I do think this sounds quite cool. I'm definitely in a romantasy mood, so yeah, hopefully I really enjoy this one. I will come back to update you on the 24-hour reading challenge as well as any thoughts that I have on this one. Something else that I wanted to update you guys on is that I've also got a package from Fairy Loot, so I thought that we could open it up and see what this is together. So it appears to be the Erin Morgenstern set, and so we've got this Starless Sea, which has got a very similar cover to the paperback edition that I have, but it does have some beautiful edges. And then that is the back. The spine. We don't have any end papers, which is a little bit of a shame, but this is what the naked hardback looks like. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then again, the spine, and then the back is blank. It's also worth noting that it is also signed. I always tend to forget to tell you guys whether it's signed because it doesn't really mean that much to me, if I'm honest. I will try and remember to tell you where possible. And then the next book is the Night Circus. So again, it's got a very similar design to the paperback. However, we have got some really beautiful edges. That is the back. Again, no end papers, which again is a little bit of a shame. That is the naked hardcover, which I think is just beautiful. The spine, and then again the back is just blank. And this one is also signed. And I also forgot to show you that this is the spine with the dust jacket on. So this is what they will look like on my shelves, which I think they're gonna look absolutely beautiful. In fact, I'm tempted to maybe have one of them face out because, as I said, they are really beautiful. So yeah, I'm really impressed with those editions. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I do think it is a little bit of a shame that they didn't have any end papers. Did you get these editions, or what do you think about them? Let me know down in the comments. it's now Thursday lunchtime and I ended up reading late into the night last night as I couldn't sleep because I had too much on my mind, and that meant that I actually ended up finishing Fall of Wrath and Ruin, and that also means that I'm on just over 16 hours to go. So overall I did end up giving this one 3 stars. I found it okay. As I said, the world building felt very info dumpy. I also found the smart a little bit random. I know the creatures within this world feed off pleasure, so I guess it makes sense from that sense, but I don't know, I just found it a little bit random. I also found the relationship between the male main character and the female main character a little bit too stereotypical, you know, man is big and strong and woman needs to be protected. I don't know. I'm kind of undecided as to whether I continue this series. Part of me is just like, absolutely not, I don't think it was for me, but then I know if Fairy Loot release a really pretty edition, I know I won't be able to help myself, so we will see. But that also means I'll be moving on to my next book of the vlog. I feel like I'm doing really well in terms of my reading this week, as I said. I definitely feel like this challenge is encouraging me to read a lot more. I'm definitely utilising reading before my work day and also reading on my lunch break, whereas normally I tend to just read in my evenings. But yes, my next read is going to be Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I think I've talked before about how I've read a lot of Cassandra Clare books growing up. In terms of the Mortal Instruments series, that's a series that I absolutely loved growing up, although I did find it a little bit strange because of certain reasons, which if you've also read it, you probably will understand. But Swordcatcher is her first adult novel, as well as being completely outside of the Shadowhunters universe, which I don't think she's written a book that's been outside of that universe before, which is quite interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see how a story of hers stands up without it being part of that universe. So in terms of the synopsis for Swordcatcher, 2 outcasts have the power to change everything, but will they grasp the hand of destiny? In the vibrant city-state of Castellane, nobles and criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and the next hedonistic thrill. Yet, as an impoverished orphan, Kel's prospects look bleak, until he's stolen from his old life to enter a new one of luxury and peril. He's to become Prince Connor Aurelian's body double, shielding the prince from all dangers. As his sword catcher, he and Connor will become as close as brothers, yet Kel lives for one purpose: to die for Connor. Lancaster is an Ashkari physician, part of a community ostracised for its rare magical abilities, but after a failed assassination attempt that brings her and Kel together, they are drawn into the web of the mysterious Ragpicker King, ruler of Castellane's criminal underworld. He offers each of them what they want most, but as Lynn and Kel sink deeper into his world, they uncover an extraordinary conspiracy. As long-kept secrets unravel, they must ask themselves, can a forbidden love bring down a kingdom? And will their discoveries plunge their nation into war and the world into chaos? Like I said, I do think this sounds quite interesting. Again, this is the Fairy Loot edition, so it's got some beautiful sprayed pages. I do also own the Illumicrate edition because I just couldn't help myself. I think this one came in the Fairy Loot monthly subscription, and so I didn't know what it was going to look like. I think I do prefer the Illumicrate edition, which is this one. Those are the sprayed pages, so therefore I think I will read it out of my Fairy Loot copy. However, I do try and be really careful with my books, especially special editions. I will come back to you once I have some more thoughts around Swordcatcher. Hi guys, happy Friday and also happy Taylor Swift album day. So today is a very good day because not only did Taylor drop one album, but she also gave us a whole separate secret second album. God, that was a little bit of a mouthful, which is so exciting. So I've listened to it a little bit this morning, and it's a little bit more of a slower album, kind of similar to sort of like Folklore and Evermore, but more kind of like electro pop. I guess that's how I describe it. I actually thought I cancelled it, but I just got the vinyl through the post. I was trying to be good and save some money, but I'm not really complaining because it's really beautiful. I don't actually have a vinyl player yet. Collecting vinyl is something I've always wanted to get into, so if you do have any recommendations for vinyl players, please let me know. But yeah, I can't wait to listen to more of this album. I think my favourites so far are Fortnight, The Tortured Poets Department, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and So Long London. I really hope she plays So Long London when I go and see her at Wembley, fingers crossed. I don't have a reading update for you as last night I ended up editing and watching BookTube. I think I just needed a night off of reading and filming. The plan for tonight is to do a little bit more editing, but also I'd like to get some reading done and to start Swordcatcher. So I'll definitely come back to you and let you know my thoughts once I have. might be able to tell from the B-roll footage, but we went to London today. It was so unbelievably busy in London, so I don't know how much B-roll I was able to get. I had planned to do a separate come book shopping video with me, so maybe that's what you're watching, maybe not, or maybe I've included it as part of the vlog, because as I said, yeah, it was so busy. I'm not quite sure why it was so busy today. It was the same weekend as London Marathon, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. However, that doesn't really explain why Forbidden Planet was absolutely rammed. It's the worst I've ever seen. It was just unbearable. You just literally could not move. I thought it might be quite fun to give you guys a little mini update and a mini haul and let you know what books I picked up whilst I was in London. Absolute classic, but I did tell myself I wasn't going to buy much today, and then I ended up buying 6 books. So the first bookshop that we went into was Foyles. I didn't actually know that Foyles is now part of Waterstones and that you can use your Waterstones points and also get Waterstones stamps. So there's a little tip for you if you also weren't aware. So whilst we were in the romance section of Foyles, I spotted The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and I've heard so much about this book. It was previously self-published, I believe, and now it's been traditionally published with new covers. And like I said, I'd heard so many good things about this series. I've heard that it's a good time, and yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a read. So if you're not aware of what this book's about, let's have a look at that synopsis. She's about to make a deal with a college bad boy. Hannah Wells has finally found someone who turns her on. But while she might be confident in every other area of her life, she's carting around a full set of baggage when it comes to sex and seduction. If she wants to get her crush's attention, she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and make him take notice, even if it means cheating the annoying, childish, cocky captain of the hockey team in exchange for a pretend date. And it's going to be oh so good. All Garrett Graham has ever wanted is to play professional hockey after graduation, but his plummeting GPA is threatening everything he's worked so hard for. If helping a sarcastic brunette make another guy jealous will help him secure his position on the team, he's all for it. But when one unexpected kiss leads to the wildest sex of both their lives, it doesn't take long for Garrett to realise that pretend isn't going to cut it. Now he just has to convince Hannah that the man she wants looks a lot like him. I do think it sounds like a good time, and yeah, I'm really interested to pick this one up. It's also worth noting that this book is part of a series. It's part of the off-campus series, and I believe there are 4 books, I think. So I'm interested to give this book a go, and then if I like it, I'll continue the series. I think the series follows a different couple within the same campus and potentially the same friend group. But as you'll also be able to see, this was part of the buy one get one half price deal. So I had a little look on the romance table and I ended up picking up Wild Love by Elsie Silver. So I talked about this one in my most recent anticipated releases video, so I will leave that down in the description if you fancy checking it out. I haven't actually read the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver, so it was a little bit rogue me picking this one up. I do own the majority of the books in the Chestnut Springs series and I do intend to get to them soon, but as this one was on the table and in the deal, I couldn't resist picking this one up. There weren't any other books that particularly took my fancy, so yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a read. We then, as I said, ventured into Forbidden Planet. As I said, it was unbearably busy, so it was really difficult to have a look at all of the manga because you literally could not move, and it was really tricky. There was a point where I almost just kind of left with nothing. However, we did decide to pick up some manga, and so we decided to make the most of the 3 for 2 deal, and so we picked up the One Piece bind up, so volumes 1, 2 and 3, as well as the bind up for volumes 4, 5 and 6. I have read volume 1 of One Piece before and I really enjoyed it, and I do really want to continue the series, although it does really intimidate me because it's a very long series. So I think the bind ups would probably be the best way to go. I was kind of umming and ahhing as to whether to get these, and then my boyfriend Tim decided to treat us, as he said he was quite interested in giving the series a go as well. And then Tim also picked up volume 7 of Kaiju 8, which is a series that he's interested in. I don't know anything about this series, but yeah, it's one that he likes and we got it as part of the deal. Also, when we were in Forbidden Planet, I noticed that they had Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew. This is another book that I talked about in my most recent, most anticipated books video, and when I was researching for that video and I was reading the synopsis, I was really interested. I think it was probably one of the ones that I was most interested in picking up, and so when I saw it in Forbidden Planet and when I saw that it had some discount, I reached for it immediately and knew that I wanted to give this one a go. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts on this one, please let me know, and then maybe I can get to this one soon and let you know my thoughts in an upcoming wrap up. We then ventured to Waterstones in Piccadilly, and although I love looking around Waterstones Piccadilly and I really love how they've changed it, they've now got a massive manga section which is fantastic. And then they've spread out the YA section, which is really nice, and then the fantasy just feels, again, really nice and spaced out. But as I said, I didn't end up getting any books in Waterstones because the one book that I was looking for they didn't have. So we ended up going back to Foyles, and I ended up finding the book that I wanted, which was With a Little Luck by Marissa Meyer. This is actually a book that Beth from Books Nest recommended to me. She got me to have a look at the synopsis, and it definitely looks like something that's up my street. So the synopsis for this one: Jude is determined to fly under the radar. He just wants to draw comics, host regular D&D nights with his friends, work at his parents' vinyl record store, and escape school as unscathed as possible. That is until the night he finds himself inexplicitly gifted with a bout of supernatural good luck. Suddenly everything Jude has ever wanted is within reach. His art is being published, he helps his friend's song become a finalist in a songwriting competition, and he wins a pair of coveted concert tickets which he can use to ask out the popular girl he's been crushing on for years. But how long can Jude's good fortune last? And why does he find himself thinking about Ari, his best friend since forever? If Jude has been dreaming of the wrong girl this whole time, does that mean he's doomed to be unlucky in love forever? I just think it sounds so cute, and I love the D&D references and the record references. I think it sounds really cute, so I'm really excited to give this one a read. I also saw Mina and the Cult by Amy McCall, which is the new Amy McCall book. It's the third book in the Mina and the Undead series. I haven't read that series yet, but I just have a really strong feeling that it's a series I'm gonna really enjoy, especially when it has a lot of 90s pop culture references from what I can see, and they all seem to be set in really cool locations. Also, I met Amy McCall at Comic-Con last year and she seemed absolutely lovely, so absolutely would love to support her as an author. But yes, I'm so excited to pick this one up, and as I saw it was in the buy one get one half price, I couldn't help myself. I can't tell you too much about this one being a third book in the series, so I've just picked up the first book in the series, Mina and the Undead, so I can talk to you about the synopsis of that one. New Orleans Fang Fest 1995. Mina's having a summer to die for. Can I just say I love the setting of New Orleans. I've always wanted to go to New Orleans, and 1995 is actually the year I was born. Mina arrives in New Orleans to visit her estranged sister Libby. She loves nothing more than a creepy horror movie and can't wait to explore the city's darkest secrets. Vampire tours, seedy bars, spooky cemeteries to disturbing local myths. Mina lands a part-time job at a horror movie mansion and meets Jared, Libby's gorgeous housemate and fellow horror enthusiast. But the perfect summer bliss is broken when she stumbles upon the body of a girl with the puncture marks on her neck, clutching a lock of hair that suspiciously resembles Libby's. Someone is replicating New Orleans' most brutal supernatural killings. Mina must discover the truth and prove her sister's innocence before she becomes the victim of another myth. As I said, I'm really excited to read this series. I think it sounds fantastic. I'm tempted to potentially read all three back to back as part of a video if that's something that you guys would be interested in, maybe around spooky season. And then the last book that I picked up in London was also part of the buy one get one half price deal, and that is the Revenant Games by Margie Fuston. I can't actually remember whether I included this in my anticipated reads video, so I'm going to give you the synopsis just in case I didn't. Life wasn't fair, neither was death. Once a year the Revenant Games takes place between enemy witch and vampire kingdoms. For 17-year-old Bly, competing means the chance to win immortality for her best friend and resurrection for her lost sister. A dangerous plan to play both sides begins until Billy captures a vampire who shows her that forbidden passion is the deadliest game of all. Join an intense battle of love and survival in an epic new paranormal romantasy. When I heard Margie Fuston talking about this, she was saying it's kind of Hunger Games if there was witches and vampires involved, but there's also humans involved, and so you're kind of rooting for the human underdog or something, and I found that really intriguing, so I definitely want to give this one a go, and it was one that was definitely on my radar. So there you have it, just a few books that I bought in London this weekend. So I filmed a big unboxing of all of the books that I got through the post today, and I now have realised I forgot to actually click record. So instead I'm just going to talk you very quickly through the books that I received. The first one is Tales of the Celestial Kingdom by Su Lin Tan. This is a selection of short stories which is set after the Daughter of the Moon Goddess series. I have the first first book, Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which you might be able to see on my shelves. I don't know if it's going to be a little bit small in the background. I haven't read it yet as I hadn't managed to get my hands on Heart of the Sun Warrior, which is the second book in the Fairy Loot edition, but I'm really hoping that I can pick it up in the past box sale, which is on Monday, so fingers crossed for me that I can pick that one up. But it is a series that I've always been intrigued by, and the books are absolutely beautiful, so yeah, I'm really intrigued to read it. So as I said, this is the Fairy Loot edition of Tales of the Celestial Kingdom. It has got a bit of a colourway change. I will leave on screen somewhere the original cover. It's got some beautiful edges similarly to the other books in the series. This is the back. It's got a really beautiful naked hardcover with some lovely foiling, which I hope is coming up on camera. We've got some absolutely beautiful character art on the end pages, as well as really beautiful character artwork on the back end pages as well. The back of the hardcover is just blank. I'm really happy with this. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and like I said, I'm really hoping I can get my hands on Heart of the Sun Warrior so that they can all match. I also got my copy of Lore Olympus Volume 4, which again, this is a colourway change. I'm going to leave the original on screen somewhere for you. It's also got beautiful ombre pages, and then this is the back. I was actually saying in my last clip before I forgot to record that I'm really impressed with Illumicate's customer service. As you may remember if you watched my last vlog, I was a little bit confused as to why I didn't receive this one because I received 2 and 3, but this was missed off the order. I got in contact with Illumicate and they got back in touch and said that they send it out to me, and then it's literally just been a couple of days later and this has arrived. So like I said, I'm really impressed with their customer service. I also unboxed the entirety of the April Illumicate box. I don't know if I'm going to go through absolutely all of the items, maybe I'll give you my highlights, but if you haven't received the April Illumicate box, I'm going to leave you a timestamp so that you can skip forward so that you don't get spoilt. So the book for April was To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X Chang, which I had a feeling this would be the book this month, and I kept pointing it out to Tim in London saying I think that's going to be the Illumicate book this month. Similarly, I think this is a colour change. I will leave the original on screen somewhere for you. It does also have some foiling, which I hope is picking up on camera. It also has beautiful sprayed edges. What I also said, I've noticed that Illumicate are doing a lot of stained glass style edges this year. As much as I like them, I would like them to sort of do something that may be a little bit different. This is the back. So again, fairly simple, but we do have some foiling, which again I hope is picking up. That is the spine if you're interested. But where I think this edition is really pretty is the end page art. So this is the front, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Also the naked hardcover, which I think is absolutely stunning. As I said, Tim and I are really hoping to go to Japan next year, so this is definitely making me really excited. And then we've got this side, which is giving me kind of Roman inspired, which is really interesting seeing the juxtaposition. This is the spine. I'm trying to be a little bit quick because I can see my camera battery flashing at me. And then these are the end pages at the back. So as you can see, the end papers and the naked hardcover are absolutely beautiful. I do think the dust jacket art is pretty, but it is very similar to the original. I would have liked them to maybe do something a little bit different, but I am still happy with this. I will be reading this in May because I am trying to keep on top of my subscription box books. As you guys are probably aware, I've probably talked to you about it so much, and I did vlog me reading the subscription box books for March. Again, if you're interested in watching that, I'm going to leave that down in the description, but I am tempted to do the same in May, so I will be sure to include this in a vlog and let you know my thoughts. I will of course as well include that in my monthly wrap up. I did talk about the synopsis of this one in my anticipated releases video, my most recent one, so again I'm going to leave that down in the comments rather than me go through it now. Yeah, it's been a very good day in terms of new books in my collection, you know, book haul, book mail. It has been a very good day for books. In terms of reading update, I don't really have much of a reading update. I got to about page 50 or so of Swordcatcher, so I haven't actually got that far into it. I would say I am enjoying it so far. As I predicted, Cassandra Clare has a really easy to follow writing style. I've always enjoyed her writing style in all of the books that I've read from her. I haven't met all of the characters yet, like I haven't met the female main character, so I'm really interested to see how she comes into it and what her character is like. And yeah, I'm really interested to read more of it and sort of form some more thoughts on it because I don't feel like I've read enough to really form thoughts. Now we're back from London, I intend to read for the majority of the night, so hopefully I will will be able to form some more of those thoughts and come back to you with a actual proper reading update. So chances are I will probably see you tomorrow with a reading update, fingers crossed. It's now Monday lunchtime. Apologies for not giving you much of an update over the weekend. Yesterday I just wasn't really in the mood to film. However, I did spend the majority of the day on sprints, so I did get quite a chunk of reading done. We also built our new TV unit, which hopefully you would have seen from the B-roll, and that took us longer to build than we thought it would because the instructions weren't very good, so we did end up getting it wrong and then having to rebuild it, which was quite frustrating. And then I spent the majority of the evening watching the new video from Gav Reads It All. He was reflecting back on his 5 years at BookTube, and I just found it really interesting, especially as I'm just starting out on BookTube. It was really interesting to hear his hints and tips. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, already know who Gav is, but if you don't, I'm going to leave him in the description because he is just fantastic and such an inspiration. He always puts so much effort into all of his videos and they are absolutely hilarious. So in terms of the 24-hour reading challenge, I'm at just under 14 hours, and I'd say I'm also just under halfway of Swordcatcher, so I'm on page 286. I would say I am enjoying Swordcatcher. As I said in my previous updates, I really enjoy Cassandra Clare's writing style and I do like the characters, and I've always liked the character aspect of her writing. The characters have now come together and I'm getting more of an idea as to what the plot's going to be. We've now met the Ragpicker King from the synopsis, and we've also got some idea as to what he wants from our main characters. However, I'm conscious with him being sort of like king of the underworld that could definitely change, and there could be a lot of plot twists and things like that as the story continues. I will say I don't think it necessarily needs to be as long as it is, and it feels like it's taken a lot just to get to this stage, which is a little bit frustrating, and I do feel like it could have been cut down a lot. I feel like there's been a lot of emphasis on establishing the world as part of this, which I do think is important, but I also think a lot of it could have been cut out. But as I say, I am still quite enjoying it. I'm not quite sure as to whether it's feeling more of a 3, 3.5 or 4-star read. I guess it will depend on how the latter half lands. I have decided that as I'm not even halfway on the 24-hour reading challenge and I have done a weekly reading vlog, essentially, I'm going to split this challenge into 2 parts and I'm going to keep filming, but for you guys the next part will be in another vlog. I hope that's okay. I just didn't want my vlog to be ridiculously long. So, and also I don't know, it's like a mindset thing for me that I just like to have weekly reading vlogs. Even though I'm not quite halfway, I'm on sort of like 14 hours to go. I think it's definitely doable to accomplish this next week. We don't at time of filming have any plans at the weekend, so I know that I'll be able to get a decent chunk done then if I don't get to do it in the week. But if you are interested in watching that vlog and seeing how I do for the rest of the challenge, then maybe consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you can be aware when I upload that vlog. If you have enjoyed this vlog, please make sure to give it a thumbs up as it really helps. Have you read any of the books that I featured in this vlog? Please let me know down in the comments. Or have you attempted the 24-hour reading challenge? How long did it take you? Again, I'd be really intrigued to know down in the comments. 24 hours is actually so much longer than you think it is. So yeah, I originally thought I was going to get it all done in one video, but yeah, it's actually a lot more than I thought. But that's all from me. I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.